Nearly a year and a half after the historic SouthPark fire that killed 2 construction workers, Charlotte Fire Department sharing its internal investigation findings. WCNC Charlotte's Julia Kaufman shares some of the issues firefighters say they ran into that day and what's being done now to make sure it doesn't happen again.
It's hard to believe this project that you're looking at right now was just recently a large pile of charred wood. Now, the Charlotte Fire Chief says a lot of lessons have been learned from the 5-alarm fire that broke out here and claimed 2 lives. These apartments on Liberty Road Drive, rebuilding from tragic beginnings. In May 2023, an insulation foam spray trailer inside the construction site ignited, spreading flames across the wooden structure in minutes.
This wood frame had no fire suppression systems.
Firefighters rescued 15 workers, but DeMonte Sherrill and Reuben Holmes were trapped and couldn't escape. The tragedy sparked change in Charlotte and statewide.
We were not called to come there and do an inspection, and the reality is we were never notified that vertical construction had even started.
Investigators say the site was missing a required pre-fire safety plan and water source in the building, which delayed firefighters' efforts.
Do you have a water supply on the seaside, your side?
We do not.
Before the SouthPark fire, developers were required to reach out to the fire marshal for inspections. But Charlotte Fire Chief Reginald Johnson says they're now being proactive.
Fire marshal worked with Mecklenburg County, and right now the fire is now being engaged in pre-permitting conversations and meetings where we weren't before.
The department also had a backlog of inspections now being tackled by 12 new inspectors.
They created a construction team that does nothing but focus on new construction and making sure that they're following the requirements.
In January, the state implemented new fire codes because of the SouthPark fire, and construction site superintendents must now have a certification from the National Fire Protection Association. A handful of contractors were fined thousands of dollars for safety violations and required to make improvements. Plus, earlier this year, the families of the 2 victims filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the companies involved in this project. In SouthPark, Julia Kaufman, WCNC Charlotte.
And we have reached out to the legal team for the families of these victims. In the past 90 minutes, we heard back. They tell us there are no updates at this point in that wrongful death lawsuit. Of course, we'll continue to follow up. If anything develops, we'll let you know.